Hey guys, how's it going? This is Josh with TechZoneUK, and in this video we're going to be looking at something a little bit different to what I normally show you how to do. Today we're going to be looking at Linux, so we're not looking at Windows. So all you Windows fans out there, you might not be too interested in this, but if you're interested in Linux then by all means continue watching. But for all you Linux fans out there, today I'm going to be showing you how to upgrade your Linux system using the software updater and using the terminal. So we're going to be using a simple graphical user interface, a simple GUI, and we're also going to be using the CLI, which is the command line interface, to update our system. So how do we do this? Well, you're going to need to open up what's called the software updater. Now in my case I have mine in my launcher just here, which is the software updater. If you don't have this, just simply come up to the dash here and type in software updater. This is actually a remake of this video, so it's already in there, but type in software updater and there's the software updater just there. And load this up, and what it's going to do is it's going to check for updates, and it's either going to tell us that we have updates or it's going to tell us that we don't have updates. So here it is, look, loading up, it's checking for updates. Now mine's probably going to error because I've got a really faulty PPA, so it really doesn't like that. So I'm going to have to click OK on the next screen. What this is going to do is it's going to contact all our repositories here. There we go, look, failed to download repository repo information because I got a faulty one, but basically hit OK, and apart from that my system should be, and I say should be up to date. Here we go, look, no software updates available. So that's pretty much how you check for updates using the software updater built into Linux. Now this is great if you just want to use the system as a system and you're not too fussed about using the command line. I mean, Ubuntu is a really simple operating system to use, and you can make it complicated if you want, and you can make it easy if you want. It all depends down to the user, e.g. you. So we're going to take a look at how to update our Linux system now using the terminal, which is for more advanced users, but if you're beginning this is still really easy to follow. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to use something called the terminal. Now if you've never heard of it, it's basically like the whole root into Linux. This is where you can control your whole system from the terminal. It's great. You can configure files, you can edit files, you can create directories, so folders, you can do a whole lot of stuff, and I'm hoping to get into this within the next sort of few videos to show you guys the actual power of Linux and why it's really nice. So anyway, you can see here that we're now into our Linux and we're in our home folder, because you'll see if I list out ls, you can see we're in our home because we can see all our folders and files and things like that. So basically what command we're going to want to run is two different commands. We're going to want to run sudo apt-get update. Now I know I went over that quite quick, but basically sudo stands for super user do. Now in Linux there's no administrator of account, so when you run sudo, every time it will always ask you for a password. If we enter in this sudo command here, it will ask me for a password in the next step, but this will create what's called a session. And so basically if I enter sudo, I type my password, and then I typed in another sudo command, it wouldn't ask me for my password again because it creates a session. I can't remember how long they last. I think it's about 15 minutes if I remember rightly, of inactivity. So obviously you can keep typing the sudo command without having to worry about typing your password in every time. And if you're worried about someone entering the sudo command, obviously if you're not there, just close out of the terminal and then reopen it, obviously if you really want to. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to run the sudo command, like I said, called super user do, and then we're going to run what's called the apt-get command, which is aptitude get, which is basically a program within Linux, and then we're going to run update, which is fairly straightforward. It updates the system. So basically what we're going to do now is we're just going to hit enter on our keyboard, and like I said, it's going to ask us for our password. So we're going to type in our password, and it doesn't actually show your password in the box, so just don't think your keyboard's faulty. It's not, it just doesn't show your password. But once you've typed it in correctly, hit enter, and you can see this is now going to go down the list. Now it's going to error for me because I've got again a faulty repo, or repo, however you want to pronounce it. You can see this is the faulty repo here. But anyway, once you've done that, you now need to, you basically pulled down a list of updates. It's like when you go for Windows, it's where you hit check for updates. Now what we need to do is basically install the updates once they've been checked. So we're going to run the same command again. We're going to run sudo apt-get upgrade. Obviously a little bit different to update, but upgrade basically says, yep, those updates are cool. We're going to go ahead and get them, so we're just going to hit enter. And if there were any updates, next step, it would say there's going to be so much space available. It's going to take maybe 7-8 meg or however many updates there are, and it's going to take up this much space. Would you like to continue? Yes or no? You simply hit Y on your keyboard or N on your keyboard, depending on obviously if you want to accept the updates or not. And then it will go ahead and download and update your system. Now, unlike Windows, you don't need to update your system every time you want to reboot your system. Every time you want to use it or update, which is great. Obviously, I would always say, rebooting the system creates a nice fresh environment. It closes out applications that might be running in the background and stops maybe possible services that are slowing your system down and whatnot. So yeah, a reboot's always good, but in Linux it's not needed as much as Windows, that's for sure. So now I basically showed you how to upgrade your Linux system in both the software updater and within the terminal. So obviously we're going to get into more advanced stuff as time goes out, and I'm going to show you how you can talk to a Linux server, which is actually going to be my Raspberry Pi, and we're going to start getting some SSH going and remoting into Linux machines and stuff like that, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch of other applications and stuff like that. So it's going to be really, really fun, and it's going to be really, really good as well. So if you guys enjoyed this video, then by all means click that like button, and also if you want to see more Linux videos, then hit that subscribe button down below as well. I nearly hit 200 subscribers, which is absolutely insane for me. That's why I really want to widen my audience, because at the moment it's just facing towards Windows. And I really just want to get Linux out as well, because I enjoy using Linux as much as I do Windows. So if you guys have any requests for Linux software, by all means drop it below. And if you have any requests for Windows software as well, I've still got my Windows machine. I always have Ubuntu or Linux on my laptop, so that's not a problem. So by all means drop a comment for either Windows or Linux. I'm really not fussed. I don't favourite over the others. I like using Linux because it's quick, and I like using Windows because I game and I use so many Windows applications, it's crazy. So yeah, by all means drop a comment below, so hit that like button and subscribe. Thanks for watching, take care.